Thank you so much for sticking around. We have our final 3 interviews, and I am so lucky to be joined by ESPN Chair Jimmy Pitaro. Please give him a warm welcome. Jimmy, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
Appreciate you so much, especially because you have been very busy. Just launched a brand new streaming app.
We did.
Do you have any stats or data you can share with us about how that's going?
So 2 things happened. We made our networks available direct to consumer for the first time, 12 networks, over 47,000 live events. And then part 2 was we significantly enhanced the ESPN app. First inning, I've said that repeatedly, we're just getting started in terms of the app enhancements. The product roadmap is very robust. We've also been clear that we are running parallel paths here, which is we're continuing to invest in the pay TV environment and adding value to that environment. And so what I mean by that is if you are a subscriber to pay TV, you will have access to all of the features and functionality in the enhanced app. And so what that means is we're looking holistically. Like when we judge ourselves, we're looking across platforms, meaning pay TV, the ESPN platform, Disney Plus, if you're a subscriber to what we call the Trio bundle, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN. We're obviously looking at our presence there because you will have access to all of ESPN within Disney Plus. So we're not going to judge ourselves based on any one individual platform. We're looking holistically. But Bob announced on the last earnings call, we are not reporting subscriber numbers going forward.
But within the app, you have all these new features, right? You have the Fanatics commerce thing, you have a big fantasy thing. Like, are you seeing any engagement in those areas now that you have this brand new app pushing people there?
So a couple of things. So as a part of the video experience, you can now, on the connected television, squeeze back the player. And once you do, you'll have contextual relevance. You'll have stats, of course. You'll have a betting tab, commerce or shop with a partnership with Fanatics. We have key plays or catch up to live in case you start in the second inning or the second quarter. You can catch up to live, or you can, of course, go straight to live. And then fantasy. We have a fantasy tab. Fantasy is a huge part of our business, and I'm very pleased to announce today that we hit 14 million players for the first time ever for ESPN Fantasy Football. For the past 4 years, we've set a record. Every year, we've actually grown by 1 million players each year for the past 3 years. And yes, we hit 14 million players, which bodes really well for us because, and I know you're not asking me about this, but I'm going to go there, the NFL deal that still needs to close. Once it closes, we will acquire the NFL fantasy business, and we will become the official fantasy game of the NFL. And fantasy is a big part of our DNA at ESPN. We're very, very bullish on that product going forward.
You just mentioned the NFL deal. We talked a little bit today with Commissioner Gomez about what just happened with Jimmy Kimmel. And a question I have for you is, do you think Disney, your parent, its need to get your NFL deal approved by regulators, do you think that impacted its decision to pull Kimmel off the air?
What I'll say on this is we're going through the regulatory process right now, which I think we all know is customary for transactions of this nature. We are optimistic because this is a pro-consumer, pro-fan offering. Our intention is once we acquire NFL Network, our intention is to include it in ESPN direct-to-consumer as a part of the base tier. You will still be able to acquire or access NFL Network in the traditional ways, but we're adding another way to get NFL Network. So that's really all I want to say on that.
Okay. And then just sort of thinking about how this app is going to work. One thing that feels different to me about this app is it feels like it's a platform. It's not just your content, right? You're going to have NFL on it. There have been discussions about would you bring MLB TV on it? Mm-hmm. MLB's Commissioner Manfred, he recently said that he's really close to striking some deals, most likely with you, NBC. Do you feel confident that the deal that's been reported for you to have some of those national rights in MLB TV is going to manifest?
Look, what I would say on this, and I believe Commissioner Manfred said that we've reached agreement in principle. I would say couple of things. We've been engaged. Rob and I have been engaged since Sun Valley. We've had several conversations. Rob knows how passionate we are about Major League Baseball. I've also been very clear with Rob from the beginning when we first opted out that we were very interested in local. We know that there's a challenge in terms of local content, specifically the RSNs. We want to be part of the solution. At ESPN, we're the front door. We're the starting point for sports fans. We're the access point, and we believe we can help solve that. So we've made very good progress over the past couple of months, and I'm very hopeful that we can get something done with him.
You're going to be doing a bundle with Fox One on October 2nd for ESPN's new streaming app. I think they sort of see themselves as the front door too. I mean, they're not only sports, they do entertainment and news. So how do you think about them, friend or foe?
Look, we have 47,000 live events across ESPN. We're covering all of these leagues, all of these sports 24/7. That's not just with our productions, it's with our studio programming. No one can touch us in terms of studio programming. If you look at our digital audience, no one comes close to us in terms of .com, in terms of the ESPN brand. We do the ESPN app. We do brand research regularly, and pretty much every metric is up and to the right, including with younger people. Younger people see us as the most trusted sports brand, the most innovative sports brand. Probably the thing that we're most proud of at ESPN is that younger people see us as a digital-first brand, right? So we all know that for someone like me, ESPN is good. And so when I first got this job 7.5 years ago, we started to talk about our priorities, and one of which was and is audience expansion, meaning how do we grow our relevance with younger people. And if you fast forward to today and you look at our research, we are up and to the right in every metric with younger people. And again, most important to me is that they see us as a digital-first brand. So yes, there's competition out there, including Fox. We know, Sarah, that we can't have everything. I've been clear about this. We cannot have, it doesn't work for us to go out and acquire rights to everything.
How do you make those calls? Like, why make in certain, why go big on the NFL, for example, but then opt out of F1?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of different components to the analysis. We have a rights acquisitions team, a programming team, a strategy team. We get together, we look at ad sales, potential ad sales. It starts with ratings, right? Forecasted ratings, corresponding ad sales, affiliate value. What do our distributor partners think about these specific properties? We look at direct-to-consumer subs, how many subs we think we can generate. We look at intangibles like hospitality. We look at impact to brand. We felt like the Formula One deal significantly helped our brand with younger people and a more diverse audience, which is why we did that deal last time. So there are a bunch of different components, but we're not going to do a deal that is not accretive to our business.
And I just want to get your take on UFC. I felt pretty blindsided by that going to Paramount. I think there was reports that could go to you, could go to Amazon, it could go to Netflix. Were you surprised?
I was surprised. TKO did a fantastic job with that. I'm sure Paramount did their own diligence and they made a decision. I think it's great for the UFC to have broadcast exposure. Just to back up, we take a ton of pride in helping to grow that sport and helping to grow the UFC. And I think if Dana White were sitting here right now, he would certainly echo that. But again, we can't have everything. Like, we have to make tough decisions, and that was a tough one, but more power to TKO in terms of getting that done. We do have a great relationship with them, which led to us getting the rights to WWE. Yep,
and you have your big event with them coming up.
We do.
When it comes to the new ESPN app or streamer, one thing that's so interesting to me is you had to go out and get these deals done with all of the distributors to make sure that somebody who was a pay TV customer could log in. One distributor I'm curious to understand your relationship with is YouTube TV. They've sort of alluded that they want to do a sports bundle. If they were to do something like that, is that something that ESPN would want to be a part of? What's your take?
So we reached agreement with Fubo. We reached agreement with DirecTV on a sports/broadcast package. Our mission is to serve the sports fan, right? And so we want to be present across price points and across content offerings. So this idea of a skinny bundle or a sports/broadcast offering made sense to us on the right terms. And so if you're asking me specifically about YouTube TV, our deal is coming up this fall. We're in discussions with them now. We are certainly open to a sports package or a genre-specific sports offering on the right business terms.
Yep. And just thinking a little bit more about some of these deals that you've been doing, because it feels like you've been on a little bit of a deal hot streak. The NFL deal was so interesting to me because they get a 10% stake in ESPN. I think about the deal you did with the PLL, with lacrosse, where you take a minority stake in that league. When we wrote that story, we noted that that wasn't the first minority stake you've ever taken in a league. Is this the new normal for ESPN as you enter the streaming era, is doing some of these deals where you now have stakes in the leagues that you're distributing, and what's the benefit of doing that?
Look, first off, we're big. We've talked a ton about the NFL, so I don't want to take up too much time there. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. You mentioned PLL. We're big believers in lacrosse as a growth sport. We've been behind it for several years. We love Paul and Mike, and we're excited about that. As a part of that equity stake, we renewed or extended our license agreement with them, and so it just made sense on a variety of levels. If you're asking me whether we would be interested in replicating that with other leagues going forward, the answer is yes. If it makes sense, if we believe it would help our business, and we believe that it would help us advance our place with sports fans.
And could you tell me, what is that other league where you have a minority stake?
What is that other league?
Yeah.
Well, we have a stake in NBA China. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, all I knew was that there was one other, but I didn't know which one it was.
We have a stake in NBA China.
Okay, so those two stakes. We're getting to the end, so I wanted to ask you about Disney and just your role there. You've been there for a long time, a disciple of Bob Iger. And obviously, the question of succession comes up all the time. Your name comes up all the time in there. If you were to become the CEO of Disney, like, what's the thing that makes you special and distinct and capable that you think nobody else has?
I don't want to speak about the Disney role beyond what I've said publicly, which is that I truly love my job. I'm a huge sports fan. This is the job that I've always wanted. I'm incredibly energized about what we did a couple of weeks ago in terms of the direct-to-consumer launch, the enhanced app. I mentioned before our product roadmap. I could not be more excited about what's coming in terms of these enhancements. And just to kind of answer your question, that is my background. My background is digital. I spent over a decade at Yahoo/Launch.com. I'm passionate about digital. I'm passionate about digital product. And I believe that that's one of the areas where I add value to the ESPN team. And that is what motivates me and excites me, working with our product folks to serve the sports fan.
Great answer, Jimmy Pitaro. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.